Over the years, I've reviewed a ton of Edifier products, but these, the Neobuds Pro 2, are the first in-ear headphones I've tried from them, and they haven't disappointed. That's for sure.
Wow.
But let's talk about the styling first and foremost, because this really stands out for me. They've almost got a retro-futuristic aesthetic, sort of like 1950s version of sci-fi. You've probably seen the old sort of artwork at some point, but these are really reminiscent of that style. Just enough to stand out from the crowd, but not enough for people to yell, "Jetsons wannabe!" at you from the other side of the road. Jetsons, oh my God, do you remember that? That brings back memories. Who remembers the Jetsons? Anyway, I digress. I can't understate how much I like this design though. It stands out loads without being obviously flamboyant in its design. The case is really nice too. It carries this tone of retrofuturism with accented colours and subtle branding, but what I really like is the gigantic glowing bar on the front which indicates charging states. Again, this adds to the overall retrofuturistic styling, but what's even cooler is that you can actually change the colour of this bar using the Edifier Connect app, which allows you to choose between a bunch of colour presets. And of course, this is purely aesthetic and doesn't actually change the functionality in any way, but I think it's a real nice touch for the personalisation, something that a lot of earbuds just don't have. And talking about personalisation, in the box you also get a cloth bag to protect the case, which does seem a bit overkill because it's a case for a case. But it also comes with seven different sizes of ear tips for complete customizability when it comes to comfort. This is an incredible offering, considering that most you only get 2 or 3 options, but the fact you have 7 means that no matter how cavernous your ear holes are, one of these should fit. Now there's another reason that they've included 7 different sizes, but I'll discuss that in a little bit. Putting my love, though, for the design to one side for a little bit, what's even better is the sound. Spec-wise, these things support high-res audio through LHDC and LDAC, so Android users will be very, very pleased. And actually, they also support Google Fast Pair, which is another feature that benefits Android users too. Now, internally, they use a combination of 10mm dynamic drivers and Knowles balanced armature drivers in each earbud, which are widely regarded as some of the best balanced armature drivers available. So, in theory, these should sound fantastic, and with that in mind, I thought I would share with you my first experience of listening to these straight out of the box before we discuss how they've been over time. So let me take you back to a month ago. These are the Edifier Neobuds Pro 2. And the one thing I'm going to say straight away is that they're called the Neobuds Pro 2, not a random string of numbers. So Edifier, you're finally getting the picture. Thank you for using a more memorable name. I can actually remember that name. Let's have a look at these. Whoa! Hey, that's quite cool. Nice packaging experience. These look quite sleek. Right, we are paired up and ready to go. So they are proper inner ear. They've got the little kind of tip on the end. Not my favourite, but still, a lot of people do prefer these. Ooh, comfortable. Not bad at all. These have got that same Edifier sound that I love. It's very rich, it's very warm, some great bass, whilst keeping a really level clarity. Oh, they've done really well with these. Yeah, these are very good. Let me try a different song. Oh, come on. Do you know, I haven't tried an Edifier product that has let me down. They've just nailed it again. These are so good. These are so good. How much are they? I've got to find out how much they are, because Edifier often offer extremely good value. Oh, wait, hold on. These aren't actually out yet. Well, I might have to wait to do a review on that one. Oh, well. That gives me a couple of weeks to play with them. Now, at the time, these weren't officially released, so I wasn't sure what price these were going to be. I've since found out, and I'll go into that nearer the end, but let's just say I'm surprised. Now, having had more of a chance to listen to them and play around with the settings and the features that these have to offer, I've been really, really impressed. Perhaps even more so than during my initial experience. For starters, you can change between 3 different sound modes. Now, there's a regular, which is obviously the standard connection. There's a gaming mode, which turns on lower latency. And then there's the party trick, spatial audio, which creates a wider soundstage with directional head tracking through the inbuilt gyroscope and accelerometer. Now, as cool as this is, and as much as I like the idea of spatial audio in earbuds, I personally don't really use this type of mode anymore on headphones. It may just be me, but I find that spatial audio reduces the fullness of the sound somewhat, specifically when it comes to in-ear headphones. So, although it's brilliant that Edifier have chosen to build this feature into the range of Neobuds Pros 2, the spatial audio just won't get used by myself. Plus, you can't change any equalization on the spatial audio, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I get why, but Anyway, as for the equalization, there's 3 main options to play with. You've got the classic, which is the standard preset, dynamic, which automatically adjusts based on the type of audio you're listening to, and the custom option, which is pretty straightforward to use, although with that said, there's no equalization presets in here, which is a bit of a shame. This means that if you don't know much about equalization, you'll have to place your trust in the dynamic option to automatically change the sound profile. As well, there seems to be a slight oversight in the app where the names of the presets split up in if the word exceeds 9 characters. So, Edifier, if you're watching this, you might want to get someone on that, because at the moment it reads customized. Now, the one thing that I've yet to discuss is perhaps the feature that I think is the most exceptional thing about these earbuds, and that's the noise cancellation. The Edifier Neobuds 2 feature a wideband multi-channel active noise cancellation. And word for word from their website, the technology adds an independent feed-forward noise cancellation channel that exerts the noise reduction ability of the Knowles balanced armature driver to hybrid ANC channels, extending the noise cancellation depth to 50 decibels and the noise cancellation bandwidth to 5 kHz. Which is a mouthful, and probably will come across as complete jargon to non-audiophiles and 90% of the average user base. So, to summarise in the most simplistic terms, it means that the experience of noise cancellation is rather very good. It's perhaps not as good as some of the over-ear solutions from Edifier in my opinion, like the WH950MBs I tested earlier this year. I actually took those on a quick flight to Portugal to test out the noise cancellation on a plane. And if you want to see that episode, go and check the link out below. But these are still exceptional for in-ear headphones, and this is where the 7-ear tip sizes come into play, because to get the best noise cancellation experience with these, you're going to need the right size tip that can create the perfect seal in your ear without any sound leaking through. Now, to put it through its paces and to test just how good the noise cancellation is on these, I tried to convince the wife that I needed to go to Portugal again, but unfortunately she wasn't having any of it this time.
So I've come to the next best place, a waterfall in Wales. But it's pretty cool because it's one of the highest waterfalls in Wales, but it is raining and it's extremely wet and cold from that. But a waterfall is a great place to come because it's got constant noise like it is now. Now I've got the headphones in, they're creating a good seal. So I'm going to turn on the noise cancellation now and we'll see what that does. And to turn it on, you can actually double tap this here. Wow. It's not gone completely. It's like a kind of pitter-patter of rain almost. But that is absolutely roaring. can't stress the importance of making sure that you have a good seal in your ear as well to make sure that it's blocking as much noise out as possible. But it is absolutely hammering it down. So I'm going to back up in a second, but there are a few different levels of noise reduction as well. There's the high, which I've got it on now, there's medium and low, and there's also the wind reduction mode as well. So there's plenty of options for noise cancellation, but overall I'm so impressed. That is so quiet with these headphones on. They've done a fantastic job, they really have.
Now, I think if I was to be critical about the noise cancellation, it does a better job at removing constant noises like the sounds of rivers or tractors or just constant noises, but it's perhaps not as good at short, sharp noises like the tweeting of birds, for example. I live close enough to a mountain stream to hear the running of the water, and that gets completely drowned out with these, but I can hear the chirping of the bird song over that still. Now, it's not just the noise cancellation for you that's good, the noise cancellation for other people on your own voice during calls is fantastic too. So when you're on calls, your voice will be really clear no matter the environment, and it does this through 8 separate mics across the 2 earbuds, which is insane.
So this is the noise of the environment right now. It's super, super loud with that thing behind me. But this is the audio now coming directly from my voice into these mics on the headphones. And I think it does a fantastic job at combating the overall droning noise of the waterfall. It really does make your voice much clearer to hear. Okay, fine, it has compressed it a little bit, but you've got to remember that it's counteracting that thing. In a normal environment, your voice is going to be crystal clear. I'm so impressed.
Now let's talk about the price, because this is where things get good. These are currently £129, which I think, after some consideration, is an absolute bargain. The design is brilliant, the sound is good, the noise cancellation is exceptional, and I think for the level of technology and features that these have, such as spatial audio, £129 is a really reasonable price. I will say that it's perhaps not quite as good a value as Edifier used to be, but like most tech companies, they've certainly increased their pricing over the last few years, but I don't think that is unwarranted, because along with the price increases has come better and better designed kit that just sounds more and more exceptional with each release. And actually, at £129, although they might not have been as cheap as I'd hoped they would be, these are still a lot cheaper than some competitors, which are priced at nearly double that and yet offer similar levels of quality and features. Now, sound will always be subjective, but the warmth that Edifier products have has always tickled my pickle, and these have been no different. I think if you're looking for the best sound at the most reasonable price point, the Edifier Neobuds 2 are definitely a solid contender. Guys, I'll be sticking around for the next hour or so replying to all of your comments, so make sure you drop a hi down there and let me know what you think of the Neobuds Pro 2. And if you aren't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up if I've helped you at all with today's episode. And I'll see you guys back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.